Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Invictus Racing League, the Realistic Performance League. This is a brand new season, Season 10 of Invictus Racing League. This is round one at the glorious race of the Japanese Grand Prix. I am one of two commentators for tonight. My name's Malc, and with me, as always, is Tim. How you doing, mate? You all right?
How you doing, Malc? I'm doing good, and I'm very excited for the race here at Suzuka tonight. It's probably one of my favorite courses on the F1 schedule, and I know I say that for a lot of different tracks, but Suzuka has a special place in my heart, mainly just for sentimental reasons, as I would play many racing games as a kid, and this was always a staple in those games. So I've got many virtual laps around this track, and in addition to that, I just really love the uphill hairpin. It's just such a unique part of the track.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, do you remember the old times when you've been watching it throughout the years of watching F1 where Senna against Prost, when he lost out on the title and he had to disqualify his win basically all those years ago as well? But also, Tim, as you're watching some of the drivers here tonight, I know some of them have been temporarily replaced just for tonight, but they'll come back next week, all being well. But what do you think so far tonight, Tim?
I think we're in for a really good race. You know, those replacements that you mentioned is Rimac in the Alfa Romeo, and in the Alfa Romeo, and also Samu Papito in the Williams, who, correct me if I'm wrong, is actually coming over from the F1 League.
He is indeed. He's one of the F1 drivers who wants to watch. Obviously, he wants to watch us be really quick. Same with Yoss and Scopefield as well, coming back as well. But this will be the first time ever that Mr. Sky C does not defend his title since Meg Lugby won it in the other league of the Realistic Performance League. So it's going to be interesting stuff here this season, where we will have crowned a new champion this season for the drivers. But with that determination and skill and consistency as well, who's going to be, I know it's going to be a tough question to ask here, but do you reckon there's three drivers here that could do well here this season if they can keep it up?
I think that they definitely could, Malc, and excuse me there, mic issues. But yeah, Malc, I think that they really could, but it's still early in the season to really say, who's going to be a favorite for a title, or who's going to be, the favorite to challenge week in and week out. But we definitely have many drivers in the field right now who are just have that pace and have that sheer pace. And if you did want to pick them early on, there's so many, and I say it every week that Yoss is one of those drivers that is really quick. He just has bad luck. And if he has bad luck later tonight, then I think I'm going to stop talking about him so that I don't jinx him. But hopefully, for his sake, that's not the case. And also, we saw in the preseason race last week that Carlsberry has some speed, and he's currently in the Toro Rosso here today. So, a little bit of a slower car, but we're going to see how he goes. And, we don't have any times on the board right now, so we don't have a good baseline. But here momentarily, we're going to get some drivers putting in their flying laps.
Yeah, so at the moment here, I will mention about Yoss's and Carlsberry's form at the during the preseason and from last season as well. But Dutch Louis is the one to watch at the moment, because he is for the first time of the brand new season with a 132.4 on the medium tyres. But Luke Bailey did a 131.0. But as you mentioned about Carlsberry, who's had some pace, he's in the Toro Rosso with a 129.926. That is a cracker of a time there on the softs. So I'm roughly expecting the softs to hit, if you're doing it in equal performance, you need to hit the 28s at least. You need to hit the 28s at least, and maybe quicker if you're in the F1 League as well. But roughly, if you was in the F3 pace, normally you'd probably be late 28s, low 29s. So at the moment here, Carlsberry doing a brilliant job here. Meg Lopey on his return back into the Performance League, the Realistic Performance League, in second place with a 130.767. Roy Boy is in third with a 130.9. Ferocious Dan is in fourth. Luke Bailey is in fifth. Ozone Typhoon is in sixth place here. So I'm just Roy Mack is in, well, he was in seventh because Mr. P has got pole position at the moment here with 129.5, and Scopefield just crossed over the line there, but he missed out by 300 of a second there, Tim.
Yeah, Scopefielder, a really dominant driver that we've seen in past seasons, taking a break last season, but good to have him back. And so far, so good, with a 129.5, as you said, chasing Mr. P. Carlsberry still sitting there in third with a 129.9, and Meg Luckby with a 130.7 still. So all those drivers so far only have one lap down. We only have 4 drivers yet to make a lap. As right now, I'm actually watching Energy Dan, who is off the track, but I think he's just letting a driver by so that they can complete their qualifying lap.
Yeah, I was just going over to see what he was doing there, but you are right there. He was just trying to let one of the drivers through. So we're just still watching from Ferocious Dan's point of view. He's at 131 flat there on the medium tyres here. So with the tyre wear strategies here tonight, guys, if you're not sure with the Suzuka, with the Japanese Grand Prix, the softs can last about 11 to 12 laps. The mediums can last about 17 to 18 laps. And also the hard tyres can last about 21 to 22 laps. These are all fresh tyres. So roughly, if you're doing a qualifying lap, you take roughly about 3 laps off that the telemetry stuff as well. But the strategy to go for is the soft hards. If you really want to go for it, for like 11 laps of the softs and then 16 laps of the hard tyres. So we will have a 27 lap race for the 50% race at the glorious race of the Suzuka track there. So who are you watching so far, Tim?
Going down the line and looking, but most drivers we've actually got in the pits. But I'm going to go ahead and take a look at our provisional pole sitter, who actually just pulled into the pits as I joined him. So looking at Carlsberry now, who is on a flying lap. Currently his best time is a 129.9. That's the only time lap that he has in this session so far. But we're going to see what he does here as he is in the final sector and momentarily going to be crossing the line once he goes through this section of S's and then that final right-hander. But he goes into the pit, so Carlsberry not going to set a time.
Just see now, Meg Luppy does now. He's coming up to which is the usual famous corner, the spoon curve corner as well, and down the straight here. Feel like you're on a roller coaster ride there. Let's see what he can try to do. So 130.3 on the soft tyres here. Can he get a good time here? At the moment, he's only crossed over into the second, into the third there. We're passing 130R, the famous 130R track. Part of the track there. Yellow flag set to 2. Yellow flag set to 2. That would be one of the Williams drivers there. That might be Yoss with in 12th place. So we won 31.6. But Meg Luckby has gone back into the pits now. So just seeing if Sheepy is invalidated his lap there. So looking at the times there, Tim, and looking at how the drivers are doing their tyre wear strategies here. If you was driving around Suzuka, what would you have gone for tonight, in your personal opinion?
I would probably go for the softs. That's just normally the tire compound that I'll go for when I start to qualify. And, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But so far, what we're seeing here is a lot of drivers actually electing to take the softs, at least early on. So I think that might be the way to go. I'm almost wondering, though, how many drivers are going to try the reverse strategy and maybe start on mediums or even hards, which I would not imagine working, but trying to stay out there longer and seeing if they can make up the ground. Because I'm noticing, you know, once you get outside the top 10, then you're seeing a few drivers mixing it up. You know, you got a few mediums, a couple hards, and then some softs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would agree. Like I said, normally you would like to go long either on the mediums or the hards and just get that advantage going. But if you go on the softs first, you might have a chance, but obviously you will get the disadvantage of the hard tyres at the end, unless, which could be the talking point, is the safety car moments there as well. So I'm just watching now Stephen now doing his out lap now to see what he can try and do here. Just seeing what happens here. So good evening to everyone that's joining in the stream there. So let's see if you're enjoying it live and exclusive, guys. We will have 8 minutes 20 left on the qualifying. Yellow flag set as 1 and 2 at the moment, so that might be one of the Ferraris there. But still watching now Stephen now coming through the S's part there. You could easily hit the grass and the curve there, as well. So you've got to be absolutely careful there as well. But we've Stephen now with the hard tyres there, and he is trying to push that car. He's trying to do it again there. So he's in the Red Bull car. He needs to have that advantage there as well. So Might be a top 10 finish if you can try. Maybe go on the mediums later on, possibly. Or maybe gamble on the softs. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. But he is coming up to Spoon Curve in a moment or two. Just see what happens here now. But Tim, who are you watching so far?
Currently watching our provisional pole sitter of F1 Mr. P. Currently a 129.5 still on the board, but he's on his flying lap right now going through that uphill hairpin. And Mr. P, he was talking to us earlier before the race, and he said that he is really ready this season and that he means business. And so far, so good, as this is the first race of the season, and he is our provisional pole sitter with just over 7 minutes left in the session. So there's plenty of time for drivers to overtake him, but he is definitely showing some good form early on.
Yeah, but he's the man with the plan, shall we say. Let's see what he can try and do at this time as well. So he's coming up to the end of the second sector. He's not purple, but a few drivers are out of the qualifying. JP Greenwood, who's joined in on his debut on the Realistic Performance League, is there back, and unfortunately he's out of the qualifying, so hopefully he'll try and get a good start there into the race there. Dutch Lewis out of the race as well. Of the qualifying as well, sorry, I do apologise. But let's see what happens here. So I'm just watching Ferocioustan now. Ferociostan's doing his lap in now. He's passing into the 2 turns there, into the turn 3. This is the S section here. If you don't get that rhythm going, you will lose out massively. You could lose out by between 5/10 and possibly a second there. So everything counts there at the Suzuka track here, at the glorious race of the Japanese Grand Prix here. With coming up to the 6-minute marker here. Can anyone try and stop F1 Mr. P in first place here? But with Schofielder coming back and Colesbury on the run here, this could be a close battle here for the times here. But here's an interesting question for you, Tim. What do you reckon will be the pole sitter time based on with under 6 minutes left?
Well, my instinct is telling me that what we see is definitely not what we're going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the estimate that you said, and I think it's going to land somewhere in the 128s, but I don't really see it being the high 128. So I'm thinking maybe around a 128.7 at best.
Ooh, a 128.7. I think the way it's going at the moment, I reckon 28.9 or 29.1. So 28.9 to 29.1. That'll be the one to watch as well. So coming up to the 5-minute marker now. And Ferociostan's teasing us. He's absolutely teasing us here. Madness. Absolutely madness here. So Sheepy, one of the drivers is, that might be Mike. Mike's lost it at the end of the first sector into the gravel there. So you have to be absolutely careful there. So the most important ones are, the most corner ones to watch out for is turn 8, just after the first sector, which we just saw from Mike's point of view there. The hairpin corner, which we've seen at turn 11 there. And then also Spoon Curve to make sure you get that spot on, get that exit down straight there as well. And also the chicane part there at turn 16, 17 and 18, the last few games there as well. But let's see what happens here as well. So we got yellow flags to one. That is one of the Williams drivers there. So, is there anyone out there that's providing a shock for you tonight, Tim?
Well, Luke Bailey in 12th has provided a shock, but really for all the wrong reasons. We saw last season that he has some speed and he won a couple races even. But now he's running in the 12th position with a 131.0. Granted, he is in the Haas, which isn't exactly the best of cars. But I just kind of expected a little bit more from him in this session. And, I would say that there's plenty of time for him to improve his time, as he's actually on a flying lap right now. So, what I'm saying now could all be for naught. But it just seems that with a little over 3 minutes remaining, that he's just really does not have the pace here today. And in fact, he is starting to slow down, so he will not be setting the pole time, at least this time around. So we'll have to check back on Luke Bailey, because Nitro Gash is now on his outlap, and it actually looks like he is approaching where Luke Bailey is on the track, which is was near the uphill hairpin. So Luke Bailey going to probably be moving out of the way for Nitro Gash here momentarily, who is on his outlap, about to start his flying lap in about a half a lap's time.
Yeah, be interested to see how Luke Bailey does, because he is one of the drivers to watch in, obviously, in the F3 League as well. So he'd be one to watch. Same with Nigel Gash as well, who he could produce the goods here in the Ferrari. At the moment, he's in 13th place with the medium tyres on the 131.073 here. But coming up to down the straight here, coming up to 130R as well. So interested to see how he can try and capitalise there. But with the time so far, I kind of expect it to be a little bit lower as to match what we predicted in the timing standings as well. But anything can happen here tonight. We're producing the last minute situations here as well. So 2 minutes 15 left of the very first round one, season 10 of the Founder League, shall we say, of the Realistic Performance League of the Invictus Racing League. Tonight, yellow flag set to 3. That might be one of the McLarens there. So that might be either probably Scopefield or Ferocious Dad. Yellow flag set to 1 and 3 at the moment here. So let's see what Nodgegash can do. Nodgegash is coming to the end of the first sector, and he's not purple. He is not purple. Yellow flag set to 2, so he'll be coming up to a bit of a situation here. So one of the cars, that might be one of the Toro Rossos as well. At the hairpin corner there, he might get ahead of Luke Bailey here, which is just let Nigel Gash through, which is fair play to him on that. So Mr. P's out. Lozak moves up to third with 129.8. Colesbury still 129.9. So with 1 minute left to go here, Tim, this is going to be absolutely frantic qualifying ending here. Do you agree?
Definitely, and we got a lot of drivers on their flying lap, so we're going to see just who has the speed now. F1 Mr. P, 129.5, still on that board, but he is one of the drivers on a flying lap as he's actually approaching Luke Bailey and using the slipstream. I
do apologise there. Nigel Gash and Carlsbury have had a bit of a crash there at turn 16 there. I don't know if Carlsbury knew that Nigel Gash was on his out lap, and because of that, Nigel Gash, I believe, has got a 5-place grid penalty. Or maybe Carlsbury. I'll have to get that confirmed there. But that's what's happened there. So that is one of the shocks of the qualifying here. I couldn't see it properly, but I was just seeing what happens there, but I just saw the crash there between Nigel Gash and Carlsbury. So now Carlsbury will have to go back into the pits here. But now Nigel Gash will be out of the qualifying here with 15 seconds left to go here. I'm going to tell you what, who do you think will get pole here tonight, Tim?
Well, I think that F1 Mr. P might have it in the bag, but Scope Builder not very far away from F1 Mr. P and on his on his flying lap at the moment and in Sector 3. So we're going to see if he can do... what's going on, Matt?
Purple. He is purple on second sector here. So can Scope Builder try and get a pole position here? Will he try and beat Mr. P? He needs to find 300s here. And he goes across the line now. No, he does not. He was quicker on second sector, but he does not improve his time here. So that is, at the moment, provisional second place here. Mr. P's down the straight here, but as you can see, the qualifying has stopped. The qualifying has now stopped here at the Invictus Racing League, the Realistic Performance League. That is one of the drivers is letting one of the Ferraris through here. So Mr. P's coming up to the final few corners here at the chicane part here. Let's see what he can try and do. Can he try and improve his time here, or will he try and tease here? He absolutely teases us here. So where McLuppy has retired here. So where's Lozak now? Lozak is passing 130R, and I don't think he'll improve his time here. I do not think he'll improve his time here. But Sheepy. But again, we'll just have to wait and see if is Lozak going back into the pits? Yes, he does, just at the last minute there. So where's Sheepy now? Sheepy is coming up to the final bit now. Will Sheepy try and improve it? It's a 130 flat. Oh, every time we watch, they all go into the pits there. So at the moment here, I think this is what you see is what you're going to get, Tim. Mr. P in pole, Scopefield in second, and Lozak in third in the qualifying here, Tim.
We were way off on our estimates.
Absolutely. We absolutely did not expect the 129.5. We expected a little bit lower, but that is what we see is what we're going to get there. And I thought we was going to get one of those shocks at the end where we get one pole sitter after another. But we'll have to find out another day there. So we're just waiting for one of the guys to get themselves retired, which they've just done now. Here are your short qualifying classification for the Japanese Grand Prix, for the Invictus Racing League, the Realistic Performance League. You got Mr. P in first, Schofield in second, Lozak is in third, Carlsberry with that 5-place grid penalty. I do apologise if it was the wrong way around earlier on between Carlsberry and Nojgash. So Carlsberry will have a 5-place grid penalty, will drop down to the 9th. So Ferocious Dan will move up 1, same as Sheepy in 5th. Samu is in 6th, Ozone is in 7th, Meg is in 8th, Carlsberry is in 9th, Rymac is in 10th, Royboy is in 11th, Energy Dan is in 12th, Yoss is in 13th, Luke Bailey is in 14th, Nojgash is in 15th, O. Stevens in 16th, Dutch Louis is in 17th, Mike is in 18th, JP is in 19th, and Sir Spud, the only one who's not had a time at all, in last place. So we're just trying to get one of them loading up and ready to go. But we will do the usual advertisements here, guys, and then we'll talk about the race for tonight's Invictus Racing League at the Japanese Grand Prix. This is the Invictus Racing League, live and exclusive for you guys on the Tuesday nights with myself, Malc, and Tim, for the Realistic Performance League. Not only we do the Tuesday nights, but we also do the Monday Night League, which is the F1 League, the fastest drivers there. It feels like the Premier League, the top flight division as well. So absolutely fantastic stuff there. But they've got two of the best commentators ever of Gareth, aka Captain Stiff, and Sab as well. So they do a brilliant job there as well. Not only we do the Monday nights and Tuesday nights, but we also got the Wednesday nights on F2 and F3. Like I said, F3 was done by Harry and FP Charlie. That does the commentary for the F3 League as well. Absolutely brilliant stuff there. And Energy Dan does the F2 League as well. So not only we do that, we also got the Xbox League on the Sunday nights at 9:30 on the Sunday nights as well. So make sure you tune in on that if you're not in PS4, but you've got the Xbox. We've got that live exclusive for you guys there as well. But we also got the F1, the final podcast on the Thursday nights with Captain Stiff and Sab on there as well. They do a brilliant podcast. Make sure you tune in on that as well. Not only that, we also got not only we're on YouTube, guys, but we also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow as well. You all need to do that as well. But also, the most important thing of all is InvictusRacingLeague.com. If you enjoy the racing and you like it so far, why don't you sign up? Register yourself on site and apply to race, apply to form, and one of the admins will get in contact with you to do a test run to see if you are capable of joining in the league. And if you're successful enough, you might be joining in next week, subject to availability as well. So we have got, before I forget, we got one more. Please make sure you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the live races here as well. We're at the Japanese Grand Prix here, Tim. So, looking at this now, Mr. P in the Red Bull car. You got Scope, who's in the McLaren there. You got Lozak in the Alfa Romeo. Sorry, I do apologise. I couldn't get the words there. I was going to say AlphaTauri there from the season, but it's Alfa Romeo there. But who do you think is going to be your top three tonight for the first round at the Japanese Grand Prix?
I'm going to have to go with Sheepy, Scopefielder, and it's a toss-up between F1 Mr. P and Lozak.
Ooh,
and, you know, to be fair, I think the Ferocious Dan could even squeak by.
That's going to be tough. I think that would be tough. I think the only one to watch out for, obviously, is Scope. If Mr. P can still get ahead of Scope, then That'll be a massive achievement there, but Scope will be on the tail there. Lozak could be the one. Fresh stand. If Sheepy can avoid any contact. And Samu as well, who's in 6th place with the Williams car as well. Anyone can win. Anyone can win this race tonight. But I'm going to say Scope, Ferocious Stan, and I'm going to say Samu. I don't know why, but I feel like those three will capitalise on the top 3 tonight. But subject to, obviously, with the safety cars as well. So interesting stuff here as well. And I'll tell you what, Tim, as we always do it, it's all yours.
And I will take it away, and this is the best part of it all. This is when the green flag waves, this is when the racing starts, and this is when the action is heavy. You see those drivers, you hear those engines revving, you hear the Itchy's pedal feet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. All the lights, all the eyes fixated up there, and no red lights, and it's green for the Invictus Racing League's F1 Realistic Performance League, and F1 Mr. P getting an early lead with Scopefielder side by side with him, going into turn 1, now into turn 2, and then it is 2 wide behind them. Scopefielder hanging on in the 2nd position, with Ferocious Dan moving up into 3rd, Lozak dropping down to 4th, and Samu already in the 5th position. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car battle for the lead right here. Is now the Alfa Romeo of Lozak goes under Ferocious Dan, and there was contact between the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo. Ferocious Dan, though, he has the advantage, and he stays in the 3rd position with Lozak chasing him down really hard, but there might be a little bit of wing damage on that Alfa Romeo, not sure. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead, Scopefielder trying to chase down F1 Mr. P, but that Red Bull is staying in really good form. Scopefielder just trying to stay behind him and use the slipstream as they head to the uphill hairpin.
Yeah, they're doing a brilliant job there. There's been no scathing at the start of the grid there, so they're all in contact there. But as you mentioned about Lozak's wing damage there was no damage on Lozak's car there, Tim, so there's no damage at all. Samu holds on for 5th place here. Carlsberg drops down to 6th place here as well, but still, yellow flag set to 2. Spud's dropped down, sorry, Energy Dance dropped down to 19th place here, so there must be some contact there as well, but hopefully we'll find out later on during the stream there. But at the moment here, Samu trying to close in. Oh my days. Ozone trying to close in on Carlsberg, go around the inside. But it does not do that at all. He's trying to keep that momentum going there. But Mr. P's got the fastest of the race at the start of the round 1 here. 134.9. Samu's right on the taste here of Lozak here. Will he try and go on the inside here? The famous double right-hander. He does not do that there. So, Tim, who are you watching so far?
Currently watching the battle for the lead. It is actually a 3-car battle between 2 McLarens and the Red Bull of F1 Mr. P, who is leading this pack. F1 Mr. P in really good form, and as I said earlier, he said that he means business this season, and he is showing it very early on. He is looking really strong, and even pulling away now from Scopefielder, while Ferocious Dan is just kind of chasing this pack and trying to hang on to it.
Yeah, trying to hang on to it there, but while the top 3 are pushing away here, Lozak is like building a train here from 4th place on backwards here as well. So let's see, we're still watching there. So Ozone, Typhoon, well, it was just seeing what they're, but they're having a proper 2 wide here coming up to, feel like you're going up the hill here, and we're coming up 2, which is Spoon Curve here. They're going side by side here. Oh, contact! There's been contact between Rymac and Ozone Typhoon there. So Rymac had a little bit of contact there, side by side there, just before the Spoon Curve there. So now we had Energy Dan who had to pit for the hard tyres. Now Rymac gone from, which I believe, from 7th place all the way down to 18th place, Tim.
And Samu Paito's making a move on the inside and locks up, and almost he does get into Lozak. There is some contact between the Alfa Romeo and the Williams, but no harm, no foul. But Samu Paito, he is going to have to stay in the 5th position. Lozak in 4th, at least for the time being, but he's going to try to make a move on it again. Samu Paito, he's going to try to make a move on the inside of Lozak, and he's going into turn 1. They are side by side, but Lozak, he has that momentum on the outside, but will he be able to hang on to it? Is now Samu Paito, he is moving up into the 4th position. He would have had he got a little loose there, otherwise he would have had the momentum on the outside of that next corner. So going through these S's, Lozak remains in the 4th position with the Williams of Samu Paito in the 5th position. Carlsberry behind them in 5th.
Yeah, so this has been a brilliant battle here for 4th and 6th place here. While the top three are just shooting off here. Carlsberry, can he try and make the move here on Samu here for 5th place? Oh, a little bit of contact at the back of the car there, but they go side by side here. They'll go too wide up to turn 10 here, up to the hairpin corner. Oh,
and Carlsberry spins! Carlsberry spins, he's in the wall, and he is out. There is terminal damage to that Toro Rosso.
So Carlsberg, I think he caught the grass there. I don't think there was any contact there between himself and Samu there from what I saw on the stream there. But at the moment here, Carlsberg is out of the race here. So virtual safety car. We will have a virtual safety car now. So because of the terminal damage of Carlsberg's car, he would have had one of the bestest battles there between Samu there for 5th place here. So be interested to see who's going to try and capitalise on here. But with the tyre wear strategies with the softs, if you can last up to like lap 11 here, that will be fantastic stuff there. But it just depends if they can try and capitalise on it as well. So at the moment here, is there anyone that you're watching so far, Tim?
I'm really just watching the pack kind of, bunch up. And as you said, if they can try to last to lap 11 on the tires, then that'd be ideal. But I think that this virtual safety car is really going to allow that to happen. So I think we're going to see a lot of drivers staying out longer than what you might expect.
I'm hoping so, but it could happen with the tyre wear. They've got to be managing it perfectly here. And we're back racing now here for lap 4 of 27 of the Invictus Racing League, the Realistic Performance League. And we come up to the end of the first sector now from Sheepy's point of view here. So at the moment here, Yosh could be closing on Meg here on 9th place here. So Roy Max got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings here. But we've got a 4-car battle here, Tim. 4-car battle here from Samu. Actually, from Ozone, Sheepy and Roy Boy now for 6th, 7th, 8th. The yellow flag set to 2. So JP Greenwood has dropped down to 17th place here. So there must have been some contact there at the hairpin again. So the hairpin corners have been a bit cautious there from some of the drivers here. Do you agree there, Tim?
Yeah, and for good reason, I think, Malc, because if you look at this track, you've got some decently long straightaways, and even the sections of the course that aren't exactly a straightaway, you can still go flat out in a lot of places. So I think that these drivers, they kind of get into a rhythm of going fast, but then they know that, they got to slow way down for that hairpin. So I think it's just a matter of trying to be cautious early on, because we saw what just happened with Carlsberry. He was trying to make a move on Lozak, and it was a really good battle from both of them, just holding their own. And as you said, Carlsberry, he just kind of clipped the grass, and then it sent him into the wall, and then his left front tire was knocked off, and he was out of the race. And I think that that's what the drivers are trying to avoid, because it's only lap 5, and you're not going to win the lap on the first race. As actually Ferocious Dan goes really wide there. I was riding on board with him, and he went into the gravel, so he's lucky to have actually saved it. But so far, Ferocious Dan, no damage on that car and running in the 3rd position. But I think that's just what the drivers are trying to avoid, is making these costly mistakes early on, because you can't win a race on lap 1, but you can definitely lose it.
Absolutely. You've got to be absolutely cautious there, because if you want to win the race, you've got to be absolutely consistent here. And if you don't get consistency, you will not win titles. And that's what Mr. Sky C, who was the champion for the last 4 seasons here. 4 seasons, unbelievable stuff. But we will have a brand new season champion for the drivers this season, because obviously Mr. Sky C is taking a season off. So anyone can win the title here, as long as they keep the consistency going. But Ozone, Typhoon, and Sheepy goes side by side here, coming up to the chicane part there. This is absolutely unbelievable stuff here. We've got Roy Boy right on the tail here, so Sheepy will be a sitting duck here. Roy Boy will try and make the move here on the outside here, but he would have had the opportunity here, but they all had the DRS. They all had the DRS straights here. And they're trying everything.
And Roy Boy has spun. Roy Boy going through turns 1 and 2. He spun, but he saved it. What a miraculous save from Roy Boy. I think he just got a little loose there. I don't even think he clipped the grass. It was just a matter of the car getting away from him. So a really good save from Roy Boy.
Okay, I did not caught that there, Tim. So explain more in detail.
I barely caught it myself, Malc, but from what I understand, I was just watching him, and he was going in through turns 1 and 2, and then all of a sudden he's just turning the car right. So I don't think he clipped the grass. I really just think that it's a matter of he did not get the angle into that corner right, as now actually O. Steven 002 has retired, or excuse me, left the session at least momentarily, so maybe a little bit of issue there. But Roy Boy, again, going back to him, very good save, but he's dropped down to 8th place now, so, you know, he's probably not running where he would rather, but it's a sight better than in DNF.
Yeah, sight better on there than the DNF, but he has done well to keep that car on tact here. But while we might have a 5-car battle here if they can catch up with the guys here as well. We also got some fans on the chat as well, some of supporting Dutch Louis here, who's dropped down to 15th place now, and also Jos, who's in 10th place here. So Nitrogas just right on the tail there, and we just saw the background there. Nitrogas and Jos having a 2 wide here. We might have 2 wide here, coming up down the straight here. Feel like you're on a roller coaster ride here. Jos will try and get the slipstream here. You try and get everything possible here. It feels like the Senna Prost moment there when they go side by side there into turn 1 there. Who could try and get ahead there? And it was Nitrogas in 10th place here. Tim.
Malc, I've been monitoring this battle for the lead for basically the entire race, and I think that it's just amazing that all 3 drivers are within a second or so of each other. So you've got about a half a second gap between F1 Mr. P and Scopefielder, and then it's almost a full second now between Scopefielder and Ferocious Dan, but fair play to all of them, really, because they are just really sticking in that fight. And I'm surprised that the DRS has not given as much of an advantage as maybe you would think. But so far, Scopefielder just holding in second and Ferocious Dan holding in third. F1 Mr. P dominating so far.
Yeah, Mr. P's done a really good job here to hold on for first, because I was expecting Scopefield to be right on his tail, and he is still under a second still, but I think this is where the softs are going to slowly kick in with the wear going through during the race as we speak here. We're on lap 7 of 27, coming to lap 8 in a moment or two. But with this situation going on here, Scopefielder will need to try and get past Mr. P at some point. Do you reckon he'll do the undercut here, or do you reckon he'll try and keep up with him and see when he'll pit at the same time? Tim?
I think he's going to have to try pit strategy to get by F1 Mr. P, just because, it looks like Scopefielder, he has the speed. He can usually get up to about half a second behind F1 Mr. P, maybe a little bit closer, but then it's almost like he stalls out. I'm almost wondering if it's a aerodynamic deficiency that we're seeing here, because he just seems to stall out and then he's not able to really do anything with it. So that's another reason why I'm actually surprised that the DRS hasn't came into play more than what you would expect. So Scopefielder really struggling here, and now he's almost a full second behind F1 Mr. P. So I really think that in order to get ahead of him, or at least gain any ground, that he's going to have to do something with pit strategy. Yeah,
you'll have to do something here, because if you want to win races, if you want to win titles, you've got to try and do something different here to what Mr. P's doing, aka the man with a plan, shall we say. But fair play to Ferocious Dan as well. He's only within that point there, but Sheepy at the hairpin there. He must have made a massive mistake there. There must have been some contact there from some of the drivers there, but he's dropped down from I believe it was from 7th place down to 15th now. So I think there was a bit of contact there between himself and Dutch Louis as well, so that's probably why. At the moment here, we've got try and look at the battle between Rymac and Luke Bailey here for 12th and 13th place here as well. But at the moment, Mr. P's pitted. Mr. P is pitted, but Scopefield stays out here, Tim. What do you think about that situation?
I'm actually surprised that F1 Mr. P pitted this soon, but, of course, I don't know what his tires are looking like. He has fitted the medium tires, so F1 Mr. P rejoining the race now on the medium compound tires. So, maybe those soft tires were just shot, or maybe he just didn't want to risk losing any more time and he wanted fresh tires. So, Scopefielder, depending on how his tire wear is looking, he might be able to gain on F1 Mr. P. I definitely look for him to pit in the next couple of laps, maybe even this time. But again, with that virtual safety car slowing things down for about half a lap, the tire life was increased maybe a little bit on these cars. So I just don't know what they're looking at the moment.
We don't know what. Yeah, you were absolutely right there, Tim. Absolutely spot on there. But this is going to be interesting stuff here, because Schofield and Frostad are in the same car. Obviously, they may have to pit at the same point, which could be the double stack. It's tough for them, but it might be that the other driver will have to go long, whoever goes ahead there. But Mike is good. Made a massive mistake there at turn 10, turn 11 there at the hairpin corner there, which has now brought Luke Bailey into play here. As you can see on the screen, guys, there is the gaps, like the precision moves as well. Yellow flag set to 1. Yellow flag set to 1. That is Dutch Louis. Dutch Louis has made a mistake there at turn 5, I believe. So turn 5, he made a massive mistake there. So the biggest mover of the race here is Mike with 9 positions here. Nitro Gas with 8 positions as well. Samu, oh! Luke trying to make the move on the inside there, and because of that, it's brought Rymac into play here. Look at this, two wide here. We might have the famous 3 wide here. Can we see it? We might not see it. Oh, you're teasing us, guys. You're absolutely teasing us here. We would have had 3 wide here, but Rymac could be on the tail of Mike here because he's struggling. Looked like he was struggling with those tyre wears here, Tim.
Yeah, and this is just really an intense battle between Mike Rymac and Luke Bailey, respectively. They're just kind of running nose to tail here for 8th, 9th, and 10th. You know, and that is for that final points bank position there, and the 10th place is currently being taken up by Luke Bailey. I look for that to change here momentarily once, pit stops come underway, which, Scopefielder and Ferocious Dan did stay out that last lap. But it looks like Rymac is really just trying to almost intimidate Mike in that Racing Point machine as they go through the uphill hairpin. Rymac's just really staying close to that back bumper of that pink Racing Point. While Luke Bailey, it looks like he really is struggling and just trying to keep pace.
He's trying to keep pace there, but a few differences here this season, which we mentioned in the pre-season, but we will mention it again. So, for the first time ever, every driver will in the position, as long as they're intact on there, that it will be different points strategy. So every driver will guarantee to have points. Whoever gets pole position, which was Mr. P, will get 2 championship points already. So he's already got a good start here, but at the moment he's in 11th place. Quite a few drivers are going to the pits now. Oh my days, Rymac has just gone try to get ahead of Mike. That is just madness stuff there. He was just right round the outside and he's just sneaked through. So, well, thank you very much. I'll take that now and go ahead of Mike there in the pits. That was just madness stuff there. I don't know if you just saw that, Tim.
I didn't. I saw them duck into the pits, but I kept riding with Luke Bailey. So, even in the pits, the battles are carrying on. And that's just what you get in the Invictus Racing League. That's what you get here in the Performance League, as Luke Bailey has moved up into the 5th position now. So we got Scope Filter, Ozone Typhoon, Nitro Gas, Yas, and Luke Bailey is your top 5. F1 Mr. P, the first driver to pit 2 laps ago. He is running in the 6th position. So here momentarily we'll probably see him move back into the 1st position. But he's going to have older tires than everybody else, especially his closest rivals of Scope Filter and Ferocious Dan. So I don't know how that's going to come into play. I really think that F1 Mr. P pit a little too early there.
Time will tell here. Time will tell here, because Scope Filter and Ozone are still on soft tyres here on the 10 laps here. But I will not be surprised if they gamble on probably one more lap here, which I'm guessing that's what's going to happen here, because Scopefield has gone past the pits here, so that will be out there. Energy Dan has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings now. So let's see what happens here. So Ozone Typhoon drops down to in the 4th position because he's in the pits there as well. So Mr. P will move up. Will he try and get his old teammate here in the straight line speed? And he does. He makes the move perfect there into turn 1, passing into turn 2. Tim, who are you watching so far?
Currently got Nitro Gash, who was running in the 2nd position, but with 11 laps on those medium tires, I don't expect him to be out there for much longer, maybe about 5 laps or so at the most, depending on how his tires are looking. but Scopefilter running in 11th and in a league of his own, 13 seconds ahead of Nitro Gash, and 11 laps on those soft tires as well. I'd almost say that he's going to pit this time, but time will tell here momentarily as he approaches the third sector. F1 Mr. P, meanwhile, with 3 laps on those medium tires, the first driver to pit. He is running in the 4th position, now about 2.1 seconds behind the Williams of Yas, who still has yet to pit. So far it looks like we have 5 drivers who have not pitted. That is Scopefilter, Nitro Gash, Yas, Luke Bailey, and then all the way down in the 12th position we have Sir Spud, who started on hard tires and has 11 laps on them as well.
Yeah, so fair play to those guys as well. I knew Scopefilter will be the one to watch, and he is doing really well. He's going even longer here on the softs as well, so he's going even longer than we predicted here on the telemetry stuff. So he must have got something with those tyre wear stuff, so fair play to him. So he will go on a bit more longer on the softs as well. So at this moment in time here, I'm just going to watch Ferocious Dan try and close in on Samu here for 6th place here. Roy Boy moves up to 8th. Ozone Time Food drops down to 9th place here, and then goes side by side here at that point there. But still watching this battle between Ferocious Dan and Samu here. Want to try and see if they can try and get the slipstream here. But Samu from the F1 League, doing everything possible here in 6th place. He's done a brilliant job with the Williams car, but Ferocious Dan will be thinking, what do I need to do to get past him? But Ozone has gone ahead of Roy Boy now, and he moves up to 8th place. So Tim, we're coming up to the final bit of the halfway marker here. Who's impressed you so far in the first race?
Well, I've got to say F1 Mr. P for sure, being able to hold off Scopefilter, because as you said, Scopefilter was the one to watch, and it's not to take away from F1 Mr. P. You know, we've seen time and time again that he's a driver with pace, and he is capable of winning races, he's capable of getting podiums. It's just the fact that Scopefilter is as well, and he's one of those drivers that's really quick, and so for him to be able to hold him off was really good. And I almost hope that his strategy of pitting early will work for him, at least for his sake. But then, on the same token, I really want Scopefilter's strategy of staying out longer to work, because I just want to see a battle between these two, because I think that would be one to talk about for a long time. And as I say that, there is actually a battle that has been going on and actually starting to fizzle out now between Samu Papaito and Ferocious Dan for 6th and 7th, respectively. Ferocious Dan, through the uphill hairpin, was actually on the back bumper of Samu Papaito, and now Samu has actually been able to pull away a little bit, but Ferocious Dan is keeping him in his sights. They both are on similar strategy. Samu Papaito has 3 laps, about to be 4 laps on his tires, and Ferocious Dan has 2, now 3 laps on his tires, as there is a virtual safety car. What happened? Is that Lozak and Roy Boy?
I believe there was a 4-car battle there from 130R, and I think there was a bit of a crash there between Roy Boy and Lozak there, by the looks of things anyway. So that will have to be checked by the stewards at the end of the race here. So Tim, another virtual safety car. What's going to happen here so far?
Yeah, there in Sector 3, it was the Toro Rosso of Roy Boy and Lozak that was stopped. I was able to see as I'm riding on board with JP Greenwood right now. But as far as what's going to happen, so far I expected Scope to pit that time, and he did. He's coming out in the 4th position, right behind F1 Mr. P, about 2 seconds behind him now. He's probably going to try to eat into that gap a little bit, but there's really nothing that he can do under virtual safety car, although it looks like we are green again. So Scopefilter now just trying to chase down F1 Mr. P, but with 5 laps on those medium tires versus 0 laps for Scopefilter, I almost wonder if he'll be able to chase him down, because they have the same tire compound. But F1 Mr. P is 3 seconds ahead and actually battling with Yas, all up on the back bumper of Yas, trying to go on the inside as they are in Sector 3 down this straightaway. It is side by side with Williams and Red Bull, and there was a little bit of contact that puts Yas a little bit wide, and it gave him a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so Yas is not going to be happy about that. But Yas still nevertheless gets ahead of F1 Mr. P, and then there's contact between Yas and F1 Mr. P, so there might be some wing damage on that Red Bull now as Yas was going into the pits, and I don't think F1 Mr. P knew that. I think that he thought that Yas was going to carry on, when in fact Yas did need to go into the pits. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mac, but it does look like the left side end plate on that Red Bull is gone, so there is definite wing damage on the Red Bull of F1 Mr. P, and that could really hurt his time here, as Scopefilter is already 2.2 seconds behind versus 3 seconds. So Scopefilter is starting to eat away into that gap, and could that be the end of Mr. P's potential win here?
It could be the end of Mr. P's win here, but if the safety car could produce the goods here at this moment in time. But you are right there, Tim. His left end plate on the wing here was damaged because at the back of Jos is there. Dutch Louis has unfortunately had the DNF, and he's unfortunately left the session here. So at the moment here, Nitrogash in first place, Mr. P in second place, Scopefielder closing in from third place here. Lozak has left the session as well. Luke Bay is in fourth, Samu is in fifth, Frostan is in sixth, Ozone Typhoon is in seventh, Spud is in eighth, Rymac is in ninth, Jos is in 10th, Mike is in 11th, JP Greenwood is in 12th, Sheepy is in 13th, Energy Dan 14th place, and Meg Lovepy in 15th place. With 15 laps done and dusted there. So and so far there's been some really good battles here as well. So Rymac's getting close to Spud on the hard tyres here for 8th place, but the one that we're watching so far is Scopefield and Mr. P. What do you say about this battle here coming up soon here, Tim?
I say that it's the last thing that F1 Mr. P was wanting, but the first thing that Scopefielder wanted, as F1 Mr. P already in sight of Scopefielder in less than a second separating these two, and that is just through the course of one lap. So that shows just how important the front wing being immaculate in these races actually is, because F1 Mr. P now from a 3-second gap all the way to 0.2 seconds. Scopefielder just trying to get by him, and again, it looks like he stalled out as he got close to him, and I don't know if that is an aerodynamic thing, or if it's just the fact that Scopefielder's trying to bide his time and maybe, hang on to his tires early on here, because it is only lap 16 of 27, so we've got a little over 10 laps to go at the moment. There's plenty of time for Scopefielder to make a move, and if F1 Mr. P has to pit, then that guarantees that Scopefielder will go around him so long as Scopefielder does not have anything happen to him. So I think that this is going to be something to watch. And while we're on the top three, Nitrogash running in first, 6.2 seconds ahead of F1 Mr. P and Scopefielder respectively. And I think that what he's trying to do here is stay out maybe for another couple of laps, because you were saying that the window for the soft tires is about 10 or 11 laps or so, somewhere around there. So with Nitrogash, as it's lap 17 now, if he were to pit this time, then I think that he'll be able to fit the softs and then go the rest of the way. And I think that he might be on course for a podium here if he uses that strategy, as it looks like Scopefielder has finally gotten by F1 Mr. P. But I think that Nitrogash might be on the way to a podium with that strategy, because you're going to see a lot of guys on the medium tires here versus soft. So with him on the softs, he'll be able to gain a lot of time, but where they wear down quicker, it might balance out. So it'll be close nonetheless.
It will be close. It will be really, really close, but it just all depends how they can capitalise it as well. So at the moment here, the soft mediums is the way forward here, which I predicted the soft hards to be on the safe side, but fair play to the guys here. The 16 laps on Nitrogash, so Scopefielder will get back into the lead here. Will go to the lead here in first place, but Nitrogash will try and get holding on here for first place here. I do apologise for any interesting stuff here as well. So Mr. P struggling with that wing damage there in third place, so I think he'll hold on there, but he might be on he might have to defend quite a bit in the next few laps here, because Samu and Frostan will be on his tail here as well. So let's have a look at Jos. At the moment, he's trying to close in on Spud here, coming up to the famous left-handers as well. Before Spoon Curve here, too wide there. Will Jos try and make the move on the inside of Spoon Curve? Oh, yes! He has made the move. He has made the move there, Jos. What a move there. Round the Spoon Curve there. Brilliant stuff there from Jos there. Did you see that, Tim?
No, actually, I'm watching the battle between Ferocious Dan and Samu Papaito. It was for fourth, now for third, as Nitrogash is pitted for soft tires. So Samu Papaito in the third position, Ferocious Dan in fourth, and Ferocious Dan has been on the back bumper of that Williams and just chasing him down for the past couple of laps now. And really, this is a battle that we've seen take place throughout most of this entire race between the Williams and the McLaren here. These two drivers, they seem, pretty equal in pace, and they're really just battling it out. But very cleanly, as Ferocious Dan, he actually clipped the curb there, and it got him a little loose. He was turning right through that left-hander, so he lost a little bit of time there, down to a little over half a second between the two now, as they are approaching the uphill hairpin. Samu Papaito holding on to that third position.
Yeah, she's still holding on there for fair play. But I would say this now, Tim. I would watch out for nitro gas here because he's on the soft tyres. The soft tyres with the Delta itself, it's normally like normally 6/10 between the soft and the mediums as well. So I wouldn't be that's per lap as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we could see Nigel Gash get into the top 3 in the next. This will be really close near the end of the race. I guess it if he can keep that, if he can get that momentum going. But obviously the biggest gap here would be from Ozones to Frostan, who's getting closer to Samu now for 3rd place. While these are battling out here, this could be a fantastic opportunity here for Nigel Gash to get some decent points here tonight.
That it could, and I'm starting to think that maybe a podium is a little bit out of the picture here, barring any catastrophe for the 5 drivers ahead of him. But nonetheless, 6th place is a really good points run, and it's a good points day, but he is going to have to hang on for the next 8 laps. But he's only got 1 lap on those soft tires, so it shouldn't be an issue of hanging on. And with about 5 seconds to Rimac behind him, I think it'll be okay. Rimac's probably going to gain on him here in a few laps because those soft tires, of course, will start to wear down. What happened, Malc?
Frostan has gone off track here. He's gone off the track here on the grass through the S's section there. So Frostan's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple points. So now he'll have to push that car again now. So at the moment here, Frostan would be absolutely livid there because he would have had some decent points here as well. Sorry, Tim, carry on.
No, yeah, and first is he's still running in 4th, so it is a good points-paying position, but 2.1 seconds separating him and Samu Papaito now. So, that's not looking good for him as far as his chances at a podium. But 4th place, definitely nothing to scoff at. Ferocious Dan is one of those drivers that, last season I was watching, and he was just making gains and really, getting quicker week in and week out. And now, this season, we're seeing him basically... it looks at least like we're going to be seeing him battling for wins and for podiums week in and week out. Of course, time will tell. This is only the first race, but he had a decent, he had some decent speed in the preseason race, and now he's got some good speed here today, running in 4th in the McLaren. Yeah,
so fair play. So Mike's just joined in, come back in. Nigel Gash, who made a brilliant move on stream there through 130R, so fair play to him as well. Yeah, flag set to 3. Jos was retired from the session here. I believe Jos has hit where the pit entry is. Jos has hit the pit entry here. So safety car has come out here. The safety car has come out here. Jos, I really do hope his luck will change sooner rather than later here. So now Jos's form is just... I really do hope it will bounce back next week. I really do hope that as well. But now we've got the safety car. The safety car will come in. So, if you're watching it so far, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel for all the live races here as well. If you just joined in, where have you been? You've missed a classic so far here at Season 10 for the Realistic Performance League, at the glorious race of the Japanese Grand Prix as well. So at the moment, Mr. P, who had pole position here, he'll guaranteed to have 2 points in the Drivers' Championship standings. But also at the moment, his scope could be on for the first 25 points. But do you think Mr. P will pit in this lap?
Yes, because he is pulling into the pit lane as we speak. But even before that, I was thinking that, yeah, F1 Mr. P has got to pit because this is the best chance that he's going to get to recover from the wing damage. And we're seeing a lot of drivers pit, so really the top 4 pit. So I don't think that F1 Mr. P lost a whole lot of time there. Of course, changing the wing, it's going to take some time. But really that safety car was the best thing that could have happened for him to save his race and still give him a chance at a win, because where we're under the safety car, the field is now going to be bunched up. He's coming out right behind Samu Papaito, and Nitro Gas stayed out on those soft tires, so he's got slightly older tires than all the guys behind him. So Nitro Gas running in first with 3 laps on those tires. Scope Filter, meanwhile, in second because he pitted on fresh tires, as well as Samu Papaito and F1 Mr. P. So I think that we're going to see a really good battle here in these last when we go green, probably about the last 5 laps or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Depends on what if the cars can get bunched themselves up later on in the race as well. But you said Nigel Gash will not get a podium here or get into the top 3 because of the gaps, because of the safety car. He stayed out and he does that perfectly there as well. So scope fielder Samu, this is like a fight to the end with the softs. This is going to be nervous stuff here for Nigel Gash. Will he try and hold on for first here? Will Scope and Samu put the pressure, put the pedal to the metal, as we always say? But yeah, just see what happens here. So good evening to everyone that's joined the session. If you just joined, we're just at the safety car moment here. So Nick says Dutch Louis is saying Dutch Louis crashed. Yes, he did, unfortunately. Well, he didn't crash technically, sorry. He had a retirement as he was already being lapped. Mick is saying just joined, been peeking over Scope's shoulder, but he got excited, so I wanted to hear your commentary. Rich T says Nitro's traction is going to be shocking before the race ends. It will be at the telemetry part there of the softs to be holding on here, but you are right, Rich. His tyre wear will be absolutely shot near the end, but it all depends if you can keep that consistency and mentality to hold on here for first place. But Scope and Samu will be, and also Mr. B will be the ones to put a lot of pressure here tonight. But Tim, with the safety car in and looking at those drivers here with the soft tyres, have you decided to pick your different 3 to finish off in the podium here tonight?
Yeah, I think I'm going to still stick with Scope Fielder. You were on the money with Samu Papaito, and now it's a toss-up between Nitro Gash and F1 Mr. P, because I think that Nitro Gash might have fresh enough tires to be okay for the first few laps, but, as the person in the chat stated, it's going to be those last, couple of laps that are really going to be the telltale of what happens with Nitro Gash here. If he's able to hold off Scope Fielder early on, then that might be good, and it might actually make Scope Fielder use up his tires quicker. So this safety car is helping Nitro Gash because the cars are running at a much lower speed than what they normally would be, so his tires aren't wearing nearly as fast as they would, but he still has 3 lap older tires than the next 3 guys behind him, and that can be a really deadly combination, especially with the softs, because they'll only last about 10 laps at best anyway.
Absolutely. It's roughly about 11 to 12 laps roughly, but as you can see, when from Scopes, they went wide there as well. So we're waiting for the safety car to come in, but I think because Sheepy is a little bit behind, I'm guessing the safety car will come in the next lap, but we'll find out in a moment or two. Yeah, so the safety car will come in on the next lap while Sheepy's trying to catch up with the guys here. So probably on lap 23, the safety car will come in, as long as Sheepy catch up, and then lap 24 will be the 4-lap shootout here for the guys here as well. Richard T says, I think Dan will get the 3rd spot if he can get past Luke quickly. Do you agree with that, Tim?
Can you repeat it?
Yeah. Rich T in the comments box says, I think Dan will get the 3rd place spot if he can get past Luke quickly. Do you agree with that?
If he can get past Luke quickly, I think that there's going to be a shot. Samu Papaito, he's really fast here, so I think that he's going to have to worry about him as well. And of course, F1 Mr. P, a man on a mission with, looking for redemption here after that issue with the damage on the front wing. But Ferocious Dan, he has been fast. He's made a few mistakes here today, but he has been fast, and he's run consistently, just flirting with the podium position. So he's definitely going to be one to watch here, and I think that he might actually be one to try to, maybe go balls to the wall and try to make something happen early on. Yeah,
you've got to gamble. First race, you've got to gamble and start off well here. If you don't get a good start in this realistic performance league, you will lose out massively on the points here. So Points mean prizes here, team. Points mean prizes here. We've got a few penalties here from Energy Dan, who had a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. And we've just had JP, who had a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings now. So obviously penalties are going to be costly here for some of the drivers here tonight for finishing off. But like I said, as a reminder, it's brand new here. The points, every position will guarantee to have points as long as you do not have a DNF. As long as you do not have a DNF or a DSQ, obviously, you will guarantee to get points in every position here. You'll get 2 points for the pole position here, for the qualifying, but also you will get the fastest lap as long as you're in the top 10. So, safety car should come in now because all the cars are all set here, Tim. So, Tim, I'll let you do the honours to start it up again from the safety car.
Well, we get a second start in this race, and that is always good. And it's going to be about a 4-lap shootout here for the lead. Nitro Gash in first with 5 laps on those tires, and then the next 3 guys behind him only have 2. Luke Bailey with 6 laps on the tires, and then everyone else with a little bit of a mixed strategy here. So it's going to see who will prevail and which pit strategy will prevail. As Meg Lugby is actually retired from the session right as we go green, and there's a severe collision back there. But we are green up front with Nitro Gash so far in the lead and holding on to it. But Scope Filter, he's going to try to chase him down, but Samu Papaito, he is right on the back bumper of Scope Filters. They head down into turn 1, but they are all in a line through turns 1 and 2, but Scope Filter's starting to really gain on that Ferrari of Nitro Gash as they go through turns 2 and approach turn 3. Nitro Gash now starting to pull away, getting a little bit of a better exit out of 2 than Scope Filter did. Scope Filter, meanwhile, trying to hang on and just chase down Nitro Gashing a big gain there through about turn 5. This is amazing as Scope Filter just trying to hang on to it. Samu Papaito, he is just left in the wings, and he's going to have to deal with F1 Mr. P, our pole sitter, who is giving him a lot of pressure.
Yeah, this will be one of the bestest ever endings here at the Realist Performance League here. Will Scope Filter try and push that car to pressure on Nitro Gash, but Samu will be the one to watch him because he is from the F1 League. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens here at this moment in time. So Fresh Dan will be trying to close in on Luke Bailey here for 5th place here. Mike's moved up to 10th. JP has dropped down to 11th place here. But this is going to be an absolute fantastic ending here, Tim.
That it is, as Scope Filter just trying to use that slipstream to get close to Nitro Gash. And like I said, if Nitro Gash was able to hang on and hold off Scope Filter in these early laps, he might be able to make something happen. But you got to know that his tire wear is going to start hurting very soon if it isn't already, as Luke Bailey now has a 3-second time penalty. But Nitro Gash still hanging on, half a second ahead of Scope Filter. Meanwhile, half a second behind Scope Filter is Samu Papaito in the Williams. So it is Ferrari, McLaren, and Williams. What a legendary top 3 that we got right here, as Nitro Gash is still hanging on. And I'll be honest, fair play to Nitro Gash. A really good run by him. I honestly expected him to have a little bit more issue because of those older tires to hold off Scope Filter. But so far, Scope Filter just, it actually looks like Scope Filter might be struggling to find the pace here. With about 3 laps to go in this race, who will it be? Will it be Nitro Gash? Will it be Scope Filter? Or will it be one of the drivers in 3rd or 4th of Samu Papaito or F1 Mr. P, who is starting to have a battle of their own? Both of them going through that curb and hitting the apex very, very nicely, approaching the uphill hairpin now. Samu Papaito just trying to hang on. I don't think he's really gaining on the drivers ahead of him. He's probably just worrying about the Red Bull of F1 Mr. P, but through the hairpin, he did gain a little bit as F1 Mr. P went a little bit wide and going through the grass, so that's going to lose him a lot of time. He's almost a second now behind Samu Papaito, who is almost about to pass Scope Filter, but just not quite there yet. Still a little bit of a gap, about a car length or 2 between the two. Nitro Gash, meanwhile, that's the best thing that he could see. If he were to look in his mirrors now, he would probably be crying tears of joy to see these two drivers battling it out here, because that is definitely holding up Scope Filter, and that is allowing Nitro Gash to pull away. It's now Samu Papaito. He's going to try to go on the outside, but he fakes it, and so then that makes Scope Filter go to the outside, but nothing comes of it this time. These two drivers still battling it out. 25 of 27 laps.
Here we go, Samu coming up to the penultimate lap here. DRS is now enabled now. The DRS is now enabled here, but now Scope and Samu will be chasing Nitro Gash here for 1st place here. But like I said, don't write off Mr. P, Luke Bailey and Frostan out of nowhere. They could produce the goods here to get into the podium here tonight. But this will be one of the classic spots here as well. So Sheepy and Suspect having a proper battle there for 10th and 11th. But Sheepy's dropped down to 12th place now. So something must happen happen there. But Nitrogash is doing everything he can here. But Frostan is going to be on charge here for Luke Bailey here for 5th place here. And we come up to the end of the first sector now. Can Frostan coming up to the double right-hander underneath the bridge here. We're coming up to the hairpin corner. If he can make the move here just before the hairpin, he's going to try and be absolutely delicate there, which I don't blame him at all here. This could be the moment here. That yellow flag sets us 1 and 2 at the moment here. So, that is JP Greenwood is out of the race here. So JP is out of the race here, Tim. But look at this now. Looking back at the top 2 now. Schofield's getting closer now, Tim.
That he is, and trying to use that slipstream yet again, but I just don't think he's going to have enough, at least not this time. And if he does not, Nitro Gash will only have 1 lap to go, but this is going to be so very close as Nitro Gash and Scope Filter rounding the final 3 corners on the penultimate lap of this race and about to cross the line for the white flag. And the white flag is out. 1 more lap to go in this race. Nitro Gash running in first, followed by Scope Filter and Samu Papaito, and F1 Mr. P, who had a little bit of an incident there after we went green, is starting to gain his position back, and he's getting a little bit closer to Samu Papaito so he can stick his nose into the mix. Meanwhile, Scope Filter really on the back bumper through turns 1 and 2 on Nitro Gash. Scope Filter saying, hey, I am here and I am ready to pounce, so you better be on edge. You better be ready because I am coming. And Nitro Gash, he has been ready. I think he's been ready this whole time. He's been ready since he pitted for those soft tires 9 laps ago versus Scope Filter, who pitted 6 laps ago during the safety car. Now they're about to approach the uphill hairpin, just going through these couple of corners here. Scope Filter gained a lot on Nitro Gash that time. Now going through the hairpin, what's it going to be and who's it going to be? Scope Filter's going to try to go on the outside of Nitro Gash, but he's not going to be able to do anything. Both drivers, though, taking a really good line through that corner, and it's just going to be a battle between Ferrari and McLaren for this win. But the Williams of Samu Papaito, he is not going to make it easy on these 2 drivers. He is coming, and he is coming hard. He's trying so desperately to catch Scope Filter, but it's just like he stalls out when he gets close to him. Meanwhile, Scope Filter, he might have a run on Nitro Gash. He's using the slipstream, going under the Rolex banner there, using the slipstream to try to get to him, but Nitro Gash is actually pulling away as Samu Papaito is actually making a move on the inside, and Samu, he does make the move, and he moves up into the 2nd place on just with 3 corners to go. Scope Filter going to try to go on the outside of Samu Papaito, but it is not going to be enough. Rounding the final corner, Nitro Gash will win the Japanese Grand Prix for the Realistic Performance League. Samu Papaito in 2nd and Scope Filter in 3rd.
What a race! What an unbelievable start there of the Invictus Racing League, the Realistic Performance League. What a win for Nitro Gash. Brilliant start from him. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Gareth, let's just say the beauty of the Realistic Performance League. 2 F1 drivers chasing down an F3 driver on the final lap. Fair play to Nitro. Absolutely spot on there. Rich says, fair play to Nitro. Well raced at the end. He produced the good right at the tail there. And he did that perfectly with that safety car to help out as well. Samu just got ahead through the 130R into 2nd place there. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. And Scope Filter as well. He finished rounding off in the podium stuff here as well. So we're going to invite Nitro Gash, Samu and Scope Filter for their questions on the podium stuff here tonight. But it's been a brilliant, what a start, what a race here, and absolutely fantastic stuff there. So we're going to get the thoughts of Tim in a moment or two while we get the classification. We're just going to do the penalties first, just in case for the stewards, and then we'll do the actual race classification in a moment or two. This is your race classification for the Japanese Grand Prix for the Invictus Racing League, the Realistic Performance League. You've got Nitro Gash from 15th into 1st. Fair play to him. Samu is in 2nd. Scope Filter is in 3rd. F1 Mr. P is in 4th. Rush Stan 5th. Ozone Typhoon 6th. Luke Bailey 7th. Mike finishes in 8th. Ryan Mack is in 9th. Suspud 10th. Sheepy 11th. Energy Dan 12th. JP, Meg, Yoss, Lozak, Roy Boy, Dutch Louis, Carlsberry, they've all had the DNFs during the race tonight. So we're just waiting for the guys to get themselves prepped up and ready to go. We will try and get Nitro Gash, Samu and also Scopefield to join in the party there, but we will talk to them about their podium finishes as well. But yeah, brilliant stuff there as well. So before we start, guys, can you please make sure your loud voice to be shared is set to always allow. If you're not sure how to do it, go to the party, party settings, and there's an option for allow voice to be shared. Make sure it's set to always allow. So while the guys are all set up and ready to go, I'll be talking to Nigel Gash on his famous win at the Japanese Grand Prix, Samu's move on Scopefielder on the last minute part there on 130R, and then also Scopefielder on his return back into the Realistic Performance League on his podium here to start off. Fair play to him as well. So, are you guys all set and ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll be talking to Nigel Gash first, then Samu, and then Scopefielder. So Nigel Gash, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yes, mate. Awesome.
Awesome. Right. I'm not going to do the usual questions. I'm going to do something a little bit different there. What a win. Where did you get that come from tonight?
I knew it was quick because the last qualifying lap that I did, I got blocked by Colesbury at the chicane, and I was sort of a second up on my soft tyre, I mean my medium tyre, sorry. And then obviously I ended up in 15th, and I thought if I can work my way through I could probably get some points, get towards the podium, but yeah, I don't know, I mean, I know the safety car helped me. I'm in an hour in whether to pit again, but I thought track position, the tyres were only 10% worn, so I thought I'll stay out and try and hang on. I mean, it was a bit of a mission trying to hang on from Scope, but yeah, that's one of the best races I've raced, I think.
I'll tell you what, that is one of your bestest ever races as well, and I'm sure the guys who watched it was one hell of a race. And you've beaten 2 F1 drivers as well. I know they were in different cars as well, but you've got to have the confidence now to surely push on from that first win. It could be again for the next one. Do you agree?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I like Japan, and I went with a sort of conservative setup as well, so I was surprised how fast it was, really. But I mean, obviously I'm in the Ferrari, but yeah, that was a great race. I had a great time there.
Yeah, you did a brilliant job there, Nigel. What was your expectations before tonight's race? Did you just expect it to get podium as best?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe, third, fourth. I was hoping to be like close enough to the podium that people pick up penalties, because I'm not usually, I don't usually pick up that many penalties. So I was hoping, there's a few places around here where you can you pick them up. So I was hoping I might get moved up, but no, never expected to be top of the pile.
Well, you've just started off with a banger, shall we say, of finishing first.
Can we finish the season now on top?
You wish, but there's still loads left to do there, mate. So be calm, mate. You'll be fine.
Hey, do you know what? As well, though, I've just thought I've never been top of a table before.
It's first things first there. So on season 10, brilliant start from you, mate. Brilliant stuff. So last week questions, mate. Before we get there. So Abu Dhabi is next week. Surely now you've just won your first race. Can you emulate it again on the second race at Abu Dhabi?
It's going to be a stretch. It's not one of my favourite tracks. It's not the worst track for me, but I wouldn't expect me to be winning again unless, situations fall into my hands and I take advantage of it. I'm not super rapid around there, so yeah, I'm just going to try and get solid points next week.
Fair dues. Can I just say, congratulations on your good start here on the first race of the brand new season of the Invictus Racing League, the Realistic Performance League, and I wish you all the very best of luck through the next throughout the remaining races, as always, Nitro. So well done for tonight. That is just unbelievable driving from you. Fair play to you, mate, on that one.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
So, Samu, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Nice one. So, coming into the Realistic Performance League, how did you felt in your first ever race in the Realistic Performance League?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, it was great fun. It was just very entertaining to be battling with the midfield, and yeah, it was great. Something different, and I think it really spices things up, having people from all tiers and great battles, and yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. We enjoyed the battle there between yourself and Scopefielder as well, and we'll get his thoughts as well from his point of view here. But surely, to get second place right at the death of the last lap, surely that was one of your best moves tonight.
Yeah, it was. I mean, first of all, I was under pressure from Dan. I was really struggling with the Williams in Sector 1, so everyone was really putting pressure on me in Sector 1, and then I was trying to keep them behind in Sector 2 and 3. And then it was Mr. P with the Red Bull, and yeah, I just was managing ERS in the last lap. I saw that Scopefield was not having ERS in the straight. His light was blinking, so I just put it full out and went for it for the move. And yeah, I mean, but I got lucky because I think I just shouldn't have been P4. That safety car just went perfectly for me. It just saved me. And yeah, I mean, this P2 is just unreal.
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable stuff there. And did you expect to get second place on your debut race tonight?
No, not at all. I just was aiming for P6, P5, just decent points. But this is something good.
Something good as well. But well done for tonight to get second place here. But as I was mentioning to Nigel Gashov, the first race at the second race at Abu Dhabi, surely with your best opportunity now to get from second place, surely you should aim for first. I know you was in the Williams tonight, but surely you should be aiming for first or get another podium here next week. Do you agree?
Well, to be honest, I haven't raced in Abu Dhabi yet, so I need to get some laps in. But yeah, I don't think for a win, but maybe for a podium or just some good points, because people here are also quick, and yeah, it's gonna be really interesting.
It should be interesting stuff, but whatever happens here, Samu, you did a brilliant job here as well. So fair play, and I love that overtake at the last lap as well.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
So I wish you all the very best of luck throughout the season, and yeah, keep it up as always. Thank you, Samu. Brilliant.
Thank
stuff.
you, mate. Thank you.
So last one is Scopefielder. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Depends.
Right, I know you've just returned back into the Realist Performance League, so how did it feel to come back into the Realist Performance League tonight?
Yeah, it's great being back at Invictus. Always good races, so yeah, feeling good. So.
Feeling good. Now, you had some cracking battles tonight as well, and surely you and Samu would have said your bestest ever battles tonight, surely. Would you agree?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if we had that much of a battle in the end. I think my main battle was with Nitrogash, and then I kind of went for the win. So I had no ERS at the last straight. So yeah, it was a good overtake from Samu. Fair play to him. I know how hard it is to race in the Williams, and finishing P2, no matter the circumstances, is a great job from him.
Yeah, absolutely. But coming back and getting the podium here, did you expect a podium tonight, from your point of view?
Yeah, I didn't have a good race yesterday in the F1 League, but I think I got a better setup today, and I was also in the McLaren, and the stronger drivers were in worse cars, so I think there was an opportunity to win. It went well for the first 21 laps, I think. So, and then I got kind of screwed by the safety car, but shit happens. Not much I can do.
Yeah, we do apologise for any swearing during the streams, and we do apologise for that as well. But, like I said, for yourself, Scope, surely we're coming up to Abu Dhabi next week for round 2. Surely you need to get that good start again, but obviously you don't want to get caught by the safety car again to ruin your race, same as what happened with Japanese tonight.
Yeah, you never know how the safety car works. I think it's pretty common that it comes out late races now, because usually when the race is about to end, people tend to be a bit more aggressive, and then there's always someone retiring. So the safety cars, I think, pretty common comes out late race, so it might be a good idea to start at the medium, but then you're also risking traffic early on. So yeah, I don't know what's the right call. Obviously it worked out for Nitrogash today, so he had the best strategy. So congrats to him. He did a great race. Deserved the win. Brilliant stuff. Fair play, Scope. And it's good to see, like I said, good to see two, feels like the bestest drivers battling out against Nitrogash from the F3 League as well. Right at the death as well. It was just absolutely immense stuff. So congratulations for the podium here, Scope, and I wish you all the very best of luck throughout the remainder of this, well, throughout the season as we speak as well. So congratulations on getting podium here, Scope. But yeah, thank you very much for joining tonight, Scope. So yeah, thank you to all the guys for Nitrogash, Samu and Scope for their podium questions here at the commentators box. Tim, a few pointers. What's your thoughts of the race tonight before we stop the stream?
Well, I think the race tonight was it was a great race, and you know, we always see this at the Japanese Grand Prix. It's always a really good race to watch, and it's so fun to be around. And it's just one of those classic races because it was not short of action. It was not short of battles on track. You know, wherever you looked, it was there. And then we had the safety car, which, you know, gave us a nice, 4 or 5 lap shootout there toward the end. So this is what I think races should be. You know, I mean, like, if you were to just take all the races and compile them into one and say, what is your ideal race, this one would be somewhere at the top of the list.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. So we will stop the stream now. So thank you to everyone that's watched the stream. It was a classic race. Just a reminder, it was Spud's 100th race. We do apologise. It was Spud's 100th race tonight at the glorious race of the Japanese Grand Prix as well. But hopefully he'll capitalise next week at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Like I said, we will be back next week for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So let's see if Nitrogash can try and keep that momentum going into first for another win. We'll have to wait and see. Or can Samu or Scope or any of the other drivers to stop Nitrogash on that big start of the race at the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you very much, guys. For the final time, can you please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel for all the live races here. Tomorrow night we will have the F2 and F3 League live and exclusive for you guys at 8 PM, so make sure you tune in on that, guys. I'd like to say thank you to Tim for brilliant commentary as always, and myself, Malc. This was the Invictus Racing League at the glorious race of the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.